So, Rick, there's so many interesting techniques happening right now with photography. I actually went to a really nice photographic exhibition a few months ago. They were doing some colographs, and but yours is unique. You're not using digital manipulation techniques like with Photoshop. And I don't quite think you fall into the category of this thing called camera toss. From what I can tell, you're sort of painting more or less with your camera. Could you make clear of what that means?
Okay, I'll be glad to. One thing that struck me as I was doing this, after I did a session of this some years ago, I went, my dad was a painter and my mother was a photographer, and they never got along. And I think I'm trying to merge the two things, and I really do think that that's what I've been trying to do. I am literally taking a camera at night, and then the points of light, when I move the camera like that I'm literally painting the points of light with the motion of the camera. And
Wow.
so I'll shoot like at 8 seconds seems to be a good exposure for me. And I use the slowest sensitivity, the ISO and so on. And then I just sit there and paint it, and I play with it and play with it. And I was talking to a musician last night, because I take a lot of pictures of musicians. And he said, I don't know how I get into these riffs sometime. They just start going, and I couldn't tell you. And I said, well, that's the same with me when I'm taking photographs. Is I'll try and do it consciously, and at a certain point it'll start to work, and I don't know that I
It
could tell you
develops its
exactly
own syncopation.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's very musical, by the way.
Yeah.
It's very musical. So you're seeing what you're actually seeing, and one person called me an action painter with a camera, which I love that expression.
Wow.
What you're really seeing is the path of the camera that I moved as I was taking the picture, but it can completely transform what you see. In my book, I have a series where I took a landscape, just a straightforward landscape at night, lights reflected in water, and then I panned the camera across it, and by the end you would have no idea whatsoever what the original lights looked like if you were just standing there.
Wow. Very fascinating. Rick, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Okay, Max, this has been great.